You check your bank app. The number says you have enough. Plenty, actually, but it doesn't feel that way. Then you open your wallet and find two folded $20 bills you forgot about, and suddenly you feel rich. Same money, roughly. Completely different feeling. That gap is not random. It's ancient. Your brain was never built to understand a number on a screen. It was built to understand piles. Piles of food, piles of tools, piles of anything that kept you alive. A number in a banking app is invisible wealth. A stack of bills in your hand is visible wealth, and your brain still trusts what it can see over what it's told. Economist Richard Thaler spent decades studying how people mentally sort their money into separate buckets, even when the money is identical. He called it mental accounting. In his research, people treated $100 won in a lottery completely differently from $100 earned at work, even though both amounts spent exactly the same at a store. Money, to your brain, was never just money. It was always tagged with a story. Found money, earned money, emergency money, fun money. Each label changes how safe or how free you feel spending it. Now here's where it gets stranger. The physical form of money changes that feeling too. Researchers Priya Raghubir and Joydeep Srivastava ran a study on something called the denomination effect. They gave people the exact same amount of money but in different forms. Some got it as a single large bill. Others got it broken into smaller bills and coins. People with the large bill spent less. People with the small bills and coins spent more, faster, and with less hesitation. The money was identical. The shape of it wasn't. Why would that matter to a brain that supposedly understands numbers just fine? Because your brain didn't evolve around numbers. It evolved around resources you could hold, stack, and count with your hands. A single large bill feels whole, feels significant, feels like something you'd hesitate to break. A handful of small bills feels like scraps, like something already halfway spent. Neither feeling has anything to do with actual value. Both feelings are inherited instincts, running on hardware built for a world of grain sacks and shell beads, not paper currency. Picture an early human returning from a hunt with meat. That meat was visible, countable, and immediately understood as wealth. There was no confusion about how much you had. You could see it. You could weigh it in your hands. Compare that to your bank balance today. It's an abstraction of an abstraction. First, money replaced physical goods. Then digital numbers replaced physical money. Each step made wealth easier to move and harder to feel. This is why a full wallet can feel more reassuring than a healthy bank balance, even when the bank balance is worth far more. Physical cash triggers an old, visceral sense of security. Digital numbers trigger a colder, more analytical one, if they trigger anything at all. Behavioral economist Dan Ariely has pointed out, across years of research into spending behavior, that the less tangible money feels, the easier it becomes to underestimate, overspend, or simply forget about entirely. Tangibility isn't a minor detail. It's the whole reason the feeling exists in the first place. There's a reason people report feeling calmer carrying some cash, even in an era where almost nothing requires it. There's a reason a drawer with an emergency fund of physical bills feels more comforting than the same amount sitting in a savings account. It isn't logic, it's an ancestral shortcut, still firing exactly as designed in a world that no longer matches its assumptions. So what happens when wealth becomes almost entirely invisible? You lose the instinct that once kept resources in check. Ancient humans could see their stockpile shrink. They could feel scarcity coming before it arrived, because the pile in front of them told the truth immediately. Today, a bank balance can drop for weeks before the feeling of loss catches up to the number on the screen. The alarm system is still there, it's just running on a delay your ancestors never had to deal with. This is also why so many people instinctively convert savings into something physical, something visible, gold, property, cash under a mattress, even when it makes little financial sense. It's not irrational. It's an old part of the brain asking for proof it can see. A number promising security isn't the same as security you can hold. Maybe that's the real reason the folded bills in your wallet feel like more than they are. Not because you miscalculated, but because somewhere behind that feeling is a much older brain, one that never learned to trust a screen, still doing exactly what it was built to do, counting the pile in front of you and quietly ignoring the one it can't see. You checked your bank app and the number said you had enough, but your hands, holding two folded,